Welcome to the Buckhouse podcast, the realest podcast on the planet. We dive into marriage, motivation, social media, and everyday struggles nobody wants to talk about. No filters, just the truth. I'm one of your hosts, Benjamin Buckhouse, alongside with Johnathan Buckhouse right over there. Two brothers that get together once a week, talk about all things, everything, what's going on in our lives, just kind of what are we struggling with on a day-to-day basis, trying to help each other go through this day-to-day thing that we call life. Right now, Johnathan is a snowboarding YouTuber, and it is the summertime. So, what are you doing for your summer, bro? How are you approaching the summer? I know that you still get to go to Copper, to go hit some rails, things like that. Just like what's going on?
Yeah, so Copper Mountain still has snowboarding over here in Colorado, believe it or not. They take a couple of their large snow features like the half pipe, went to their big jumps, and they push them into a big pile of snow and they salt it to help lower the freezing temperature, and then it just stays around for a while, which has been incredible. Especially they had it last summer as well, but last summer I was kind of hurt. This summer I'm still healthy, and they offered a season pass for the snow. So normally it's $25 for the day, but they offered a $200 season pass, which I've already gotten 8 days to pay for my season pass. So now it just gets cheaper and cheaper the more I go. And it's one of those things where it's kind of changed my summer activities. Like I honestly don't have to go like try to mountain bike. I don't have to run and go wakeboarding down 3 hours away. Like I still like to do those things, and I'll still go out this summer and do them. But before I was doing it as a necessity. Like I had to go mountain bike and I had to go wakeboarding in order to have content in the summertime. Where now it's like, well, I have 3 days a week where I know I'm going to go out, and if I plan correctly and make the right videos, then I'll have like videos for the whole week, at least short form videos, um, to get me through each week. And then I also still like improving my snowboard skills. I'm working on tricks, and it's also like a pretty solid workout because there's no chairlift. You have to walk up the snow hill. So I'm putting in a lot of effort and getting some snowboard tricks down. So that's been really nice for the sense of filming content still, and still doing what I love to do, and not having to go risk my life mountain biking, which is like so terrifying. And I'm not very good on a mountain bike, but I do need to get out because I was getting better, and I had that thought. I was like, well, I'm not going to get better at mountain biking if I stop, so I definitely need to get out, get on the mountain bike. But it's I like snowboarding, and when you can do it year round, and you live in a state that makes it to where you can do it year round, it's super nice.
Oh, that's great that Copper has the opportunity. It's crazy, yeah, that they just have so much snow that they essentially just like push it around, and they're like, all right, this is our iceberg for the summer. But
I call it the Snow Island.
a snow island. I'm pretty sure that's what an iceberg is, so kind of works out. But so from a beginner perspective, or somebody that's like just introing into the terrain park and things like that, how does Copper stand with that? Like, is that a good place for people from Denver to go up there? Like, what's the skill level to be expected for that?
You can learn boxes. They have two intermediate box or beginner boxes put in, but I guess I'd put them kind of more in the intermediate range because the spot in which they have them is very steep right now. So you like hit this box and you come off and you're absolutely cooking. Like I brought Roman and he was able to hit the boxes, and he also they have a pretty nice beginner jump. But what makes it not beginner is there's so many people hitting it that it's like intimidating. So it's like, yes, if you're a beginner and you came out early, you could hit some stuff and you could definitely learn. It's going to be a lot harder to learn than if you were to have come out, or if you were to try to learn mid-season and like a terrain park with like more mellow boxes and stuff. But it's totally possible. It's all right on, like those boxes and things are right on. So it's definitely, you can come out, you can learn. Just know you're going to be learning in a harder environment than if you waited till the winter. But you're snowboarding in July. It's almost August. They're going till September with this thing, which is super rad. And with my goal of snowboarding 200 days in 2025, it's going to help me get pretty close before the start of the season in October. And hopefully we have like a mid-October start to the season, because the last couple of years it's been closer to Halloween. Um, And it's one of those things where I really don't want to have to ride every single day in November and December. So I got to get a little creative about, because I'm at like 122 days right now. So I'll like, if I hit every single day of this Copper Hike Park, which I'm not going to, but if I did, that would put me at like 140 plus days. Yeah, like 143 days. So like, I would have to hit every day in November, December, but it's gonna be a grind. It's definitely gonna be a grind.
Yeah, that's an intense goal to have. So I believe in you, bro. I know you're gonna get there. I wanted to talk about Roman for a second. Roman seems to be killing it, dude. He seems to be crushing it on the snowboard, and I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, he got his first grab.
I saw the first grab. He was hitting the a up, flat, down, like little rail and stuff. Like he's killing it, dude. He's better than me.
Yeah, he wants it. Um, he's not very tough right now. Um, he gets a little whiny, a little cryy. I don't know how to help him with that. Or like the biggest thing is like he'll give me some attitude, and I'm like, dude, we're out here snowboarding, and I'm helping you. Like if you're gonna talk to me like that, I'm not gonna help you. And he kind of usually like snaps out of it. But I mean, he wants it, and like he was out there, and other kids were hitting rails and stuff, and he was like, I want to hit rails, and I'm like, you're not there yet. Like, and he's like, well, why can't I? They're doing it, and I'm like, well, we got to snowboard more, and it is a sad thing in the sense that he actually snowboards less because I snowboard for a living. So there's a lot of moments and opportunities where it's like, hey, you can't go because I have to go work, and you slow me down, so you don't get to go today. So like that is sad and kind of a bummer. But hopefully that creates this like want to go more. Hey, like, hey, Dad, can I come? No, not today. And then he's like, well, one day. Like I always say, like when you get a little better, maybe come with Dad more often, things like that. So hopefully that helps fuels the fire. But then I am sad when we go out and there are 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds like hitting down rails and doing board slides. It's like, man, he totally like has the physical ability because I'm literally watching like another 7-year-old do a board slide on her down rail. But I'm also not the dad that you have two types of parents. You have the parents that just drop the kid off and like the mountain's the babysitter and they just leave. And then you also have the parents that are out there hardcore coaching and super involved and like trying to like turn their kid into a professional snowboarder. And I also don't want to do that. So it's like where I find this balance of like, hey, you can come with me. I know a ton about the sport. I can teach you and give you tips. And like on Sunday when I took them, I spent my whole day just filming them. Like I didn't do like any of my personal riding, but I did ride the 2 days prior to taking them. And that's probably what this upcoming week going to look like. I'm going to go Saturday and Sunday for myself and film all my content. And then or Friday, Saturday, and then on Sunday I'll take him and kind of just focus on him and filming him. He likes the little edits and things that I make, and I like to share his progression to help motivate people. But it's like, yeah, he definitely could be better if all I cared about was turning him into a pro snowboarder. But that's not what I care about at all.
That initial part was a little sad, but I think that you wrapped it up well, explaining it all. But yeah, no, that is tough. It's just the reality, right? That it's like Roman will get good enough to be there with you pretty much every single day, but yeah, like sadly you have stuff to do, and it's not just like, well, Dad's doing his thing. No, it's like Dad has to work, and like you don't want to be there for that. Like all I'm going to be doing is talking to a camera or like whatever, it's like, yes, I'm snowboarding and it's fun, but the majority of it is like me planning and getting content made and stuff like that. So it's one of those like, sorry, but it's more of a work day than it is a fun day. Although it seems like a fun day, like it is a work day. But yeah, you're right though that some parents do just be like dropping their kids off at a mountain or whatever, and just be like, all right, I'll be back in 3 hours. Don't break a leg, and like that's it. And like that's wild to me. But I don't know. It's funny because it's not too different. Like it feels very different, but it's not too different from them being like, all right, I'm gonna go to the skate park. Okay, like I'll see you in a little bit. Like what's the difference between a skate park and the copper little hike park? You know, what's the difference? But it still feels very different to me. I don't know how to explain it.
No, totally. Like I want to get to a point where it's like Roman's like, hey, I want to go to Copper with my friends. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go to Vale. And I just drop Roman off at Copper, and then I go snowboard Vale, and I'll pick him up later. Because in a lot of ways, it is a safe environment. Obviously, with action sports, there's always a risk of an accident happen, but you can't like let that stop you from something. He just got to get a little older. I think 10's a fine age to like let your kid explore the mountain by themselves and stuff. He's not fully there. Like, he's 7. Like, I'm not gonna drop a 7-year-old off at the park by himself type situation. Some parents do, and I do get it and understand it, and especially in the summertime when some have to work and they know if they put their kid on this snow island, he's not going to step off of it. He's just going to rip all day. I get it. I fully understand. I mean, I've seen it with indoor skate parks. I've seen it with just skate parks. But you do run the risk of your kid finding other influences. Typically, the grungier dudes that are also hanging out at the skate park all day, every day, will tend to introduce your kid to some other things, maybe some of the devil's lettuce or things like that. So you gotta be aware of things. But at the end of the day, it's not gonna kill him, to go snowboard all day while you go to work or something. But once again, I'm in a position where I don't need to drop him off like that. So
Yeah. I just want to talk about Roman a little bit more, just a little bit more. Bro, I'm super proud of you, in your parenting, because, to recap what happened like about a month ago now, Johnathan was in Oregon, doing his snowboard camp, and Roman was still here in Colorado, actually in Colorado Springs, where I live. He was hanging out with his grandma, and then I took him for like 2 days to then take him to the mountain, or to take him to Denver to drop him off, and then fly out with Nate to go see Johnathan in Oregon, right? But when Roman and I were hanging out, it was actually so much fun, dude. We went to Garden of the Gods, which he didn't seem so stoked about originally, because I was like, we're gonna go look at some cool rocks, and he's like, okay, like some cool rocks, okay. But then when we got there, he's like staring at these rocks. If you guys don't know what Garden of Gods is, it's this beautiful red rock formation here in Colorado Springs, and it's massive and it's beautiful. So we're driving around, and he's just like staring up at these rocks, and he's like, oh my goodness, and he's like, look at that one, it looks like a lizard, and he's like talking about all this stuff. But then you can go ahead and park, and like there's some spots that you can climb on some rocks and stuff, not necessarily rock climb, but just do some simple like jumping or whatever. So we get to a spot, go ahead and start doing that, and there's a rock that's like it's like pretty much taller than him, and he has to climb a little bit. And I was like, you want to climb up that? He's like, yeah, I'm scared though. And I was like, dude, I'm right here. And I heard him whisper to himself. He's like, oh, all right, you got this. And then he like started climbing, and I was just like, get it, dude. Like, I was so proud of him, and like so happy that he was like hyping himself up and like going after it. And I was just like right behind him the whole time. It was so cool. The dude's a beast, and I'm so proud of him.
dude, his commitment, like he has no like he doesn't take turns. It's like with snowboarding, he doesn't take speed checks. So when it's like, all right, go hit this jump, he puts his snowboard straight and he goes right at it. He's not taking speed checks or anything like that. So and a lot of that's due to my coaching, because I'll take him to a point where I'm okay, if you start right here and you point right at it, then you have perfect speed. And so I taught him that. And so now like with a jump, I kind of have to be like, all right, dude, stop. Like sometimes he'll like pick a side hit and he's pointing it for like 30 yards. I'm like, dude, you have to take some turns or like slow down a little bit or something, because you're going you can't just full commit like that. But he's definitely got some commitment stuff. I try to teach him like all fun things are on the other side of hard, or anything that's fun to do is going to be hard. I definitely try and give him a lot of tips and advice and stuff. But one of my most proud moments right now as a father is he's editing. He's editing his own videos, his own YouTube videos. And what I, he's watched me edit a couple times, but his natural like editing know-how is crazy. He's doing like overlays and Ken burns and crop ins, all on his own. I'm like, what? This is crazy. And then he's did some voiceovers in a video too. All like I've just provided the tools. I gave him a quick understanding of how to do stuff, and he's just running with it. So that's really cool. And one reason I like that is not just because like, oh, he's making YouTube videos, and it's like one, I get all these really rad memories of the videos he's made, so I'll be able to go and watch him when he's no longer 7 and stuff, and it'll be cool to see. But he's learning like a really good life skill, being a video editor, even though I know AI is coming for everyone type thing. But there will be something to be said about knowing how to edit a video and him understanding that, and hopefully it transpires into giving him some type of life skill he can use and benefit from.
So AI is a thing, but at the same time, dude, like, I don't know if you saw, but YouTube is apparently demonetizing AI edited stuff or stolen content. Um, and like, I'm here for it. So I don't think that AI is gonna be able to take over as much, purely because people are interfering with that. But the other thing though is that, like, he's 7, so he's got time. But as of right now, like, I don't feel like AI editing is there for like a long form video, because I know that that's what he's doing, is like kind of like a longer form style video, which is crazy because you would think that he, like, somebody his age is starting with like TikToks and stuff. But no, he's like editing full YouTube videos, which is crazy to see. But uh, the other thing though is that, like, personality and creativity and all that stuff, like, it, what's you have to remember, like, AI is artificial intelligence, and it takes ideas from pre-existing things, right? It takes knowledge and ideas from pre-existing things. So the best thing about creativity is that it's infinite. You can always think of something new, you can always create something new. And so, you know that's like where if you see video editing or storytelling or whatever you're doing, like drawing or whatever it is, as an actual art form, it's because you're creating something that's never been created before, right? You're doing something that's never been done before. You're thinking of stuff that's never been thought of. So AI can't replace that, right? AI can't think of something new. It could just think of something that's already existed and put it together in like a quote unquote correct way, or statistically better way. So I think that him learning how to edit is gonna be great. I think that him learning the skill now is great, especially if he does want to keep going with it. I would love for you to like post those on a privated channel and let me watch them, because I want to. The one that you sent on Snapchat the other day, like, I wanted to watch it. It was him talking about, I don't even know, but it was so cool. He had like little like cuts where it was like the beeping thing where it's like and had like the colored screen and stuff. It was so cool. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just proud of the guy. I'm proud of him. And that time I spent with him before he went back to Oregon was such a blast. And I'm so happy that I was able to do that.
Yeah, man. He wants a YouTube channel so bad. And I know you can make like kids channels, where obviously it goes on like kids, all the stuff will go on kids YouTube and thing, but I don't know how to transition it from now he's older and so from kids YouTube to like regular YouTube, So I don't.
I think I know the answer, bro.
Do you?
I think so. When you go to upload a video, this is for everyone. When you go to upload a video, it'll ask you, is this made for kids? Like, there's literally a box that you have to click that says, is this made for kids? And if you say yes, I believe that it goes through an extra check. It has to go through an extra check to make sure that you're not posting anything actually inappropriate and then just claiming that it's made for kids, right? I'm looking at it right now. But So if you say yes, it's made for kids, I believe it goes through an extra check just to make sure that you're not lying about it. Make sure that there's no cursing or anything like that. But when you say yes, it's made for kids, that's when it goes to YouTube's kids algorithm. Like that's when it goes to purely just YouTube Kids, which is like its own website essentially, right? It's its own platform. Then the other thing though is that I believe that when he's a teenager, adult, whatever, he can just go ahead and unselect that. Just say it's no, it's not made for kids, and then it should just turn it into a regular YouTube video. It's not necessarily that you have to have your own YouTube account or anything, but more so you just have that one selected feature.
Yeah, he wants his own YouTube channel. So, yeah, these things as a parent, you're like, wait, my kid already wants social media in a way. It's like, ugh. But he wants to like he wants to create, doesn't want to consume. So the hard thing is like when he's editing or playing video games or um, just getting to any type of technology, whether it's his Nintendo or an iPad, and he gets to watch like Disney Plus, even if it's just Disney Plus, his attitude just goes through the roof. It's like the navigating of allowing them to use technology and not being a jerk is so hard. It's like, dude, why do you become so mean once you get a little bit of technology? Like, I just don't understand.
No, so when we were hanging out, it was a nice little reality check because he had his Switch and stuff, and I'm very, I shouldn't say cautious, but like, you know, I don't like the realm that kids are going into. Not talking bad about you at all. It's just like I don't like my personal habits with my smartphone, right? I don't like how much I consume on my smartphone. And with the kids I see nowadays, like I've it's almost a meme at this point. It's almost a joke where I've seen kids in the public where they'll have like an iPad in front of them with Netflix and then they're just infinitely doom scrolling on like a phone on the side. So like they're constantly consuming something, right? If they're not looking at their iPad that's watching Netflix, they're doom scrolling. And these are like literal 5, 6, 7 year olds doing this. I'm like, this is awful. Like this is it, like no one should be doing this, especially a child, right?
Yeah, our kids will be like in the car, they're like, I'm bored. And I'm like, good. It's good to be bored. Or like right now in the summertime, like we make them go play outside and do stuff. That's like outside. Like go. Like you and your brother outside, like now, go. And they're like, we're bored. I'm like, that's fine. Go throw a stick or a rock or like go be bored. You're supposed to be bored.
Yeah. And like, dude. So let me wrap up what I was saying. But so no, it was a reality check hanging out with Roman because like he had a Switch and stuff, especially I mean, he was in Colorado for like a week with grandma. He needs some little bit of entertainment, right? So he had like his Switch and everything, but there were moments where like after a long morning, because we had him for 2 days, right? So we took him grocery shopping with us, and then we went to like Garden of the Gods and stuff, and then we got to a point where we were like home for a second, eating some food, and then Kirsty and I were like scrolling on our phones, and Roman kind of called us out. He's like, "You guys, just what now? I'm trying to remember what he said. It's not like we were ignoring or anything. I think it was one of those like I made sure that he was on his Switch too much, and he was about to grab his Switch, and then I couldn't say anything because we were just on our phones. So like I looked at Kirsty, I was like, we have to put our phones away, and she was like, yeah, you're right. So put our phones away, and then that gave us the opportunity to do that. But I mean, the majority of the day, we were, like I said, we were grocery shopping. We went to Garden of the Gods, went to the hot tub afterwards, and then the dude was passed out by 7:30. He was out. So it was a great day, and we didn't spend much time on our phones or anything. But it was like a reality check of like, yeah, we got to be cognitive of what we're doing because we're influencing, a 7-year-old right now.
I would say for me, the worst part is he's like mirrors my toxic traits. So like my editing or working on the computer is work. And so he'll be like, I need to go work. I need to go edit. I need to go work or whatever. And then like you tell me like, all right, Rob, you got to get off the computer. He's like, I haven't finished working yet, Dad. Or like just the way he talks, it's just like, ugh. Like he just like will say the things that I say to like Bobby or to them about like what I'm doing. I'm just like that. I'm creating a monster. No.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with I know he's a kid, right? He's a kid, but I don't think there's anything wrong with like him having a work ethic now type thing. But no, what was I about to say? Shoot, shoot. What were we talking about before the dooms?
You guys were doing a bunch of stuff. You went to bed.
No, actually, I was gonna talk about being bored because I see memes about it now, and like, dude, I feel like kids or parents nowadays feel like, or they forget what they were like as kids, because like even myself, right, there's a big age gap between Johnathan and I. There's 8 years, and in a realm of technology, a lot changed in 8 years, right? I had a smartphone in high school, Johnathan did not, right? Things like that. And Johnathan had like Game Boys that had no backlights, so you're limited on when and where you can play them. I had like the DS, still a Game Boy, but I still had a DS where it had like a backlight. So technology changed, right? So, but even still, it's very different than what it is now. And you know, I just remember, back in the day as a kid, like, you know, if you were bored, like it was fine. Like that's normal. Just like you're saying, like being bored is completely fine. It's normal. Nowadays, I feel like parents are like, if my kid doesn't have an iPad, like I will die. Like the parents like, I will die. And I'm like, they'll be fine without an iPad. Like they will survive. Like just like you did, right? Just like you went on long road trips with nothing, right? You had some when we would go on road trips, our mom would buy these like little puzzle pamphlets where it's like word searches or connect the dot games or like this or that. That was our entertainment. And you always had to have your sibling to do it. Nowadays, people are like, I would die without an iPad for my kid, or like they need to have a smartphone. And it's like, they will be fine. Like they will be fine. I feel like it's a lazy approach. I don't know. I'm not a parent, so I'm just talking out of my butt at this point. But you know, I really liked what you were saying. But like, it's okay to be bored. You know.
Yeah, the ultimate babysitter is technology. Like if me and Bobby want some alone time, like we'll go put a movie on for the kids or let them play their Nintendos, and then me and Bobby can go like hang out in the bedroom and talk or if I got to get work done, same thing. It's like I got to get this edit done, and Bobby's going to go get her hair done. So like I need to put an hour and a half into my computer. So like here's your guys' Nintendo. So he gets like the ultimate babysitter. But a lot of parents, they want to just have like their alone time, like so they can doom scroll and they can be super lazy or watch their TV show. So they just give technology to their kids. Like I think of kids that are playing Xbox all day, every day. Like that's like there are parents out there that like they have a kid that goes to school, and then the kid comes home from school and immediately turns on their Xbox, and they don't see their kid again for the rest of the night. Like they didn't see their kid all day today, especially if the bus, if they're close enough to school to walk, whatever. Like they maybe saw their kid like 20 minutes in the whole day, and it's just like it's crazy, but it's a true reality, and I don't know what the side effect of that is going to be on society and in the future and stuff, but I know we do dinner every single night together. And when we do dinner, there's no TVs on, there's no phones at the table. We just sit down. Even if the kids are eating something a little different than we're eating, we're still eating dinner together. And you have to nowadays make these conscious decisions to not let social media or technology like interfere with your life or the kids' lives and things like that. But that being said, if we were to go out to like a nice dinner and we're trying to like talk with a friend or something like that, like kids do only have so much attention span. So if we're gonna go eat like an extra long dinner, we'll let them like jump on a phone and watch. See, there's a difference between like you don't let them watch YouTube because then their brain just gets rotten, and then they act horrible. It's like if you give them the option to select whatever they want, then they act kind of bratty. But if you like give them your phone, you're like, hey, you're watching this movie, and then they get it, and that's like they don't get to make a choice, but they do get to watch a movie. When you take it away from them, they're so much more willing to be like, okay, here you go. But if you just give them a phone and be like, here, go watch YouTube. And then they're picking YouTube videos and making all these choices. When you ask for the phone back, they don't want to give it to you, but then they're just like super rude. It's wild. That's why Roman can't play Roadblocks, like, or anything that has like unlimited choice. It's not a lot. Like games and things have to have like an end to them. It's like letting them play like Mario Kart, where like there's only so many tracks, only so many characters, there's only so many things. Like you need them to be able to get bored with the game that they're playing, and then um, getting them off the technology and them not getting this crazy attitude is so much easier.
That is fascinating. Going back to my previous job of being in the field with kids with autism, like I see what you were saying to a certain extent. Now, mind you, I didn't actually work hands on with the kids, but I could still see from an outside perspective that they did a lot of like this or that choices, right? Like, essentially offering them two options, right? And uh, that's like, yeah, you don't want to give them infinite choices. You just want to give them like one or two, but then also it was kind of like setting expectations, like first we're going to do this and then we're going to do that or whatever it may be. And that's very similar to what you're doing. It's like you can have the phone for this amount of time or whatever, but like this is what we're doing. It's like you're giving them what they want, but you're also making a choice in that to where you still have control of the situation and everything. So that's clever, bro. That's clever. But yeah, nowadays things are wild with how it's like Fortnite or Roblox or Minecraft or whatever is like they're literal infinite options. Like they could just keep doing that and it never be the same, It's always different. Whereas when we were growing up, we are so limited on what we could do with our games, but we made the most out of it, right? Like it was so much fun, and it's just crazy what's different now.
Yeah, and so like something that I've done is like Roman has the N60, like my N64 in his room. So like when he can play video games, um, which he doesn't even have a TV in his room anymore right now. So it's just if we did let him put a TV in his room, we'd let them play the N64. So they're playing like Mario Kart N64, they're playing Super Mario N64. Like the games that I grew up playing are the games that they're playing. Same thing like in the living room, we have the Wii set up and they play Wii Sports. Like they bowl and they play tennis. Like if that's the type, like if they want to play video games, that's what we're letting them play. Because you got to think too, nowadays like everything's been designed for like unlimited consumption, for addiction, for getting you to return. Like you play a phone game, there's 7 trillion commercials between anything that you do. It's so annoying. Like I used to be a pretty solid phone gamer back, when they first came out, like playing like tower defense games and things like that. But then they started like it used to be like pay $1 for a game and then you were good. You just play the game. Now it's like every game's free, but then you're getting bombarded and wasting all your time with these like stupid game apps and ads. Like so yeah, making them play like games that weren't designed to rot their brain and make them become addicted, I think is good.
I don't understand. Like, I mean, I do understand, but it's like it's kind of sad that we live in a world right now where companies are I like it's not that they're focused on money, right? Everything's a business. Everything like they got to make money somehow, right? So I'm not faulting them for that, but it's like they're making money at the expense of just like you're saying, rotting people's brains, right? And I'm talking about, these these game apps or whatever like that you're referring to, but it's also like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. They make a business and they rely on people's addictions, right? They build an algorithm around the human downfalls of addiction and trying to manipulate to where like it you do doom scroll, you do spend hours a day on their apps. Like that's what they want you to be addicted to their application. And it's kind of sad, right? Once again, it's a business. I, don't hate the player, hate the game type thing, but it's just like it works, and people are so addicted to these platforms, and they're just monetarily benefiting from it. And once again, like, don't hate the player, hate the game type thing, but it's just, yeah, it's a sad world that we live in, and it's with VR coming up more and more, and AI, like, it's the future's scary. Future's scary.
Life, if you want to, you can literally scare the crap out of yourself. Thinking about AI, the future, metaverses, like all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you can think about it and go and like live in fear and in panic, or you just like try to not overthink about it, take it day by day, be aware, do your best. Like, I do not envy the world that my kids are going to be growing up in. Um, and then, like, I mean, I fear for men, I'm assuming majority of our audience is males, but like AI girlfriends, like dudes are going to like not try to find girls. They're just going to like pay their monthly subscription for their AI girlfriend who's going to give them the attention and the needs that males want, and they're like it's gonna look so real and it's gonna talk to you like a real girl that you're not even gonna care that you don't actually have a girlfriend. And then it's like, well, what's that gonna do to women also? Like, are they just gonna be tossed like a real girl is just gonna be like, whatever, I got this crazy looking anime chick that talks to me like a real girl? Like, it's gonna be weird. And obviously porn or corn, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word, like men already struggle with that alone, and it's like who knows what's gonna, like, it's gonna be bad. um and so like I as a father to a boy, it's like, how do I prepare him and make him aware of the issues and the addictions. And I heard a story of like a 10-year-old boy that's completely addicted to corn, and their family had to like get rid of everything out of the house because he would like wake up at 3 in the morning and just like any device figure out how to access it. And it's like, that's awful. And it's yeah.
That is awful. It's like sad to hear. I just want to say, like, this wasn't planned at all. This conversation wasn't planned at all, but it's crazy because before you even mentioned it, I was gonna say, I'm sure there's gonna be a joke about targeted ads or whatever, but dude, I've seen like ads on Instagram or whatever for AI girlfriends. Like, that's a real thing. But disgusting part, the disgusting part is it's like when your AI girlfriend sends you like a sleazy pic. Like, that's literally what the ad is talking about. And I just like swipe away. So I have no idea like what's going on in the video or whatever. But like, that's just like the prompt. And I'm like, that's weird. Sorry. But I'm like, that's weird. And I just scroll. But I'm like, that's a thing now, dude. Like, it's becoming a reality. And like, I know that it's been an exponential change, but uh it's kind of like more than 50% of relationships are met online. I'm not faulting that at all, right? Our sister and our brother-in-law met through Tinder. Like, I'm all for it, right? Like, if that works for you, that's great. But with like these AI girlfriends, I feel like it's going to make it exponentially worse, right? Like, the human interaction has already been very low as is, but it's like, dude, as soon as like as soon as AIs like can virtually replace stuff, and like you're saying, so being addicted to porn affects your confidence, it affects your personal experience with people, it actually reduces your chances of having a successful relationship, right? So as people are getting addicted to porn, and as these AI girlfriends are popping up, and as they're being explicit, right, as they're talking explicitly or showing explicit images as the AI girlfriend, dude, it's going to be an exponential change, and it's going to be disgusting. And like, I like, there needs to be almost some regulations on that stuff, because like, that cannot happen. That would destroy the human race in a very literal way. Like, reproduction will plummet in the next
It's already
generations.
plummeting.
Yeah.
Like like people are making less humans. Like there's areas in the world that like they're begging their population to make more babies because they're like people stopped having kids or they only had boys, like things like that. So it's a struggle. Some places it is a struggle out there. I know again America, it's like people are only having 1.7% birth rate, whatever. So like like people are not replacing themselves. So like as a society, you want people to replace yourself, if not make more humans than you are. So me and Bobby replaced ourselves, but honestly, it's like man, maybe we should have had a third baby just like to like, help out the world. But it's it's a lot. The you could dive down and get real scary with it, and it's one of those things where if corn or whatever is something you're struggling with, like no, you can get through it and work hard, and it's a conscious decision to make the proper choices to not fall down rabbit holes, whether that's deleting apps or um, not having access to things or making sure you're not in alone time frames and stuff. So um, I have heard from friends and other people how hard that addiction is, and if you're one of those people, I'm rooting for you. And um, yeah, it's tough, man. It's technology is a hard place to be with because like I also like with the doom scrolling things like that. One, I get sucked into it so bad that I put my my bike in my office. I was like I'd sit down in this chair and I'd like have to get on my phone to like do some work, but then all of a sudden 30 minutes later, I'm like, I did one task on my phone and then I just scrolled for 30 minutes and didn't accomplish anything. So I put my exercise bike in the office. I'm like, yo, if you're gonna doom scroll, like then you're gonna be pedaling at least. Like at least you're gonna be doing something physical to not just it's a waste, like you're just sitting here wasting away and it's so frustrating. So trying to be as productive as I can. I put my bike in my office. But then I'm also like I make a living off of making stuff for people to doom scroll. Like I'm posting 2 to 3 times a day so people can consume it so then I can make money. It's like at the same time I'm more consuming so people can learn and be educated or know what's going on. I try to make sure my content's educational in a way, but
I was gonna say, I think that there's a there's a big difference in content creation nowadays, though, because although yes, you're creating content to doom scroll, and I make content for the podcast or I make my video game content, but the podcast or the content I make for the podcast and the content that you make for your channel, I feel like are geared towards motivating people or like it's very real. So when you're posting your snowboard stuff, it's like you're 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 showcasing the skills that you have in a live action sport, right? In a extreme sport, and that does add value, and it is entertaining to watch. But also, it's not like I'm getting to this, but it's like it's not necessarily doom scrolling type content. The doom scrolling type content that I think is destroying this world is like the ones where it's some made up story. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're watching these videos, 99% of these stories are made up, but it's literally like a fake story that's being commentated by an AI while somebody else is like jumping in one of those like mobile games where it's like the Subway Surfer or Minecraft or whatever. And like all it is like captions popping up on the screen. It's a fake story that is strategically placed together to like never end. It's just like an ongoing story, and there's just something in front of you that's like purposefully stimulating your brain. Sometimes it's like the jumping in a video game, or sometimes it's like people like breaking stuff. Like it'll be them like pushing foam together. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like the content, the video doesn't necessarily match what's being said. It's purely just there to like keep your attention. That's all that it's there to do, is like it's some ongoing made up story, and like that's what it is. And like that's the type of super dangerous stuff, because once again, it's geared towards constantly stimulating your brain. Your brain is not designed, like humans are not designed to be constantly stimulated, right? We are designed to be in nature and like take a moment and just be in the moment, right? Just to look around and like search and discover and learn, or like be satisfied with what's in front of us now. But these doom scrolling content that's made is literally designed to constantly stimulate your brain, to add to the addiction, to where your brain is like constantly like, I need something, I need something, I need to be stimulated, I need to be stimulated. And the only way to get that is through constant stimulation through the doom scrolling type stuff. That's the same thing with porn. Like that's why porn is addictive, is because having this is a very real adult conversation. So bear with us here, but it's like the reason why porn is so bad is because not only is it a confidence destroyer, and it also is just overall like from a morality standpoint, from a Christian man, like it's purely just a evil idea that is just accessible to so many people, right? But the reason why it's so bad is because porn is such a stimulant dense version of sex that isn't even sex, right?
It's
Sex is
not,
about
yeah, it's not
intimacy.
real.
It's not real in any way, but it's like sex is about intimacy with your significant other, right? However that is to you. I'm not gonna go into that. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you how you're supposed to do that. But it's like that's really what sex is intended to do, is to be an intimate time with your significant other, whoever that is in your life or whatever it is, right? So porn, on the other hand, is it takes out that intimacy, but also it's a constant, like it's such a dense version of that where you're constant. It's an edited video to where it's constantly showing you some type of sexual pleasure. That's not the reality. Like that's not what sex is. Sex is not a constant stimulation to your brain of like this action or that action or whatever it is, right? So that's a big problem with it, and it literally destroys relationships. Uh, and like that,
Yeah, it gives a false reality of what it actually is.
100%.
And then it also kills male confidence, because then they're comparing themselves to the fake version, and it's like, well, that's not a reality.
It's not even like I the comparison is bad, but like there's so many mental side effects to it, dude. Like porn is honestly the worst thing in this world. It's such a bad thing in this world, and I'd say that it's the amount of people that have struggled with it is astronomical, and it's
It's
unfortunate.
not getting any better.
It's not getting any better, which is kind of sad, but like I thought and hoped that it would get better throughout the years, but like it just doesn't, it's always there.
It's funny. So me and Bob, I don't know if it's funny, but me and Bobby have been working on getting approved for house loans and doing a bunch of stuff. So like sometimes it's like once you start doing something, you start getting recommended videos for like purchasing a home, or like how to get the best rate on a loan, all kinds of things like that. And I saw this video of this realtor that was like, I destroy marriages because the amount of people that I have made them go through their finances, and then their wife finds out that her husband has been paying OnlyFans subscriptions, or like porn subscriptions and things like that. He's like, I have caused so many divorces and people not to get houses just by going through their finances.
To be honest, I am happy that that is a thing. I'm happy that those people are getting exposed. That is toxic of me. I shouldn't hope for anyone's downfall, but I think that is disgusting, and a major problem that you like. No one should be paying for that type of stuff. No one should be making it that important in their life. So yeah, I'm like, it's like I said, this is a toxic thing for me to say. I shouldn't be hoping for anyone's downfall, and I'm not actually hoping for it, but I am 100% okay with people getting exposed like that, because that should not be a problem in your relationship, in my opinion. But hey,
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be more sympathetic in the sense that like I don't know what it's like to be like addicted to alcohol or addicted to porn, but you gotta kind of be sympathetic in the sense of like you got like obviously that person needs help, and hopefully a moment like that it allows them to then search for that help, or like to get through that moment. Because I don't know what it's like to be addicted to porn, but like some people they struggle with it, and so I mean, being religious, I know it's a demon. I like to equate these things to demons. So like the demon of pornography like does like affect people. Like they get that demon and then they can't get rid of it. And then you have to like actively work to rid that of your life. Same thing with alcohol or drugs. Like I'm not addicted to drugs, but those dudes like they got a demon and they got to get through it. And so you could be like, he's a drug addict, just throw him in jail or like do this or whatever. But it's at the same time, it's like you gotta be somewhat sympathetic and be like, hope they can get help and get through it. And yeah, life's hard, man. You just get addicted to video games. You get addicted to doom scrolling. It's once again, it's the pleasure thing, like Ben was saying, like not physically doing something and just mentally getting stimulated is like the easiest thing to do in the world.
No, you're not wrong. I was already calling myself out for being toxic about it. But yeah, no, it is a problem. It's a mental health issue. Addiction is a literal mental health issue. So you're right. I'm being toxic and not sympathetic in that sense.
Did people get addicted to food? It's not even just a mental like it's so easy to just like I ate bad yesterday. It's like it's so easy to just do bad things and it's bad. And you still do it. It's like
it's
so
food
frustrating.
is food is the most overlooked addiction, and I struggle with it. Right? I also struggle with it. I'm guilty of that. But like I said, I feel like it's the most overlooked addiction. Right? Obesity rates is already a problem in the United States. I don't have any statistics in front of me or in my head or anything like that, but like obesity rates is already a problem in the United States, and it's because these food addictions. It's actually worse than like it affects more people than like a porn addiction or a social media addiction. It affects so many people in this world. I shouldn't necessarily. It's a much bigger problem in the United States than it is like in other places. But uh, I also find it. This is another religious talk, but I find it a little funny because it's not only is it like an overlooked addiction, but it's also an overlooked sin. It is sinful to fall into gluttony, right? And into over consuming food. It is considered sinful to do that. But the amount of people that just choose to completely ignore that is a little laughable in my opinion, right? It's overlooked in so many ways. But yeah, you're right. Like there's more addictions are not as I don't want to say black and white as some people make them seem, but yeah, no, there's addictions to everything. There's addictions to biting your nails. I fall guilty to that. There's addictions to food. There's addictions to tapping your hand on your cars, whatever. Like there's addictions to in so many ways that it's hidden to like to the average consumer, but it's crazy.
One thing that I would encourage to anyone that's listening, I know I don't want to say, hopefully we didn't get preachy, but what I would encourage is one, know the fact that you're going to stumble and fail. Like I've learned this through weight loss. I have lost a lot of weight. I've gotten a lot better, I would say, last summer, mainly because my entire summer was put to recovery. It was a lot easier to focus on what am I eating? Am I working out? I also did 75 hard last summer. So, like, I was definitely in a little bit better shape last summer than I am currently. And like I said yesterday, I didn't eat the best. And so, like, you're going to stumble, you're going to have setbacks. Don't be too hard on yourself. Obviously, you're going to have that, like, come on, man, like, you really let me down yesterday. So, so be okay with the subtle beating yourself up, but also, like, don't be too hard and know that, like, every day is your new like start, and just know like every day, like you don't. I hear people that were alcoholics and they're no longer alcoholics. They don't say like, oh, it's not that like I just no longer want alcohol. It's just like every day I have to tell myself no. And like that's just the reality. That's my new life. Like that is the new life I live. It's just like you just make the decision like never again, and then you have to make that decision every day, never again, never again. Like so, it's a struggle, guys. But I believe in you. We're here as a resource, and I hope that and in no way are we perfect people. Like I said, I mowed out on pizza and got tried the peanut butter and jelly Reese's cup yesterday, which I regret. It was not good. Um, but I ate that 50 or 100 calorie piece of candy. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I agree. I hope we didn't come off as too preachy. And the reality is, like, I think the number one thing that I've been working on in my personal life that I would like to share, and this is kind of what we touched on last episode as well. Links up in the corner, of course, but it's giving yourself grace, right? Just like you said, you can compare it to like the fitness journey, or like going to the gym or whatever it may be, but it's like, you know, every day, like quitting something isn't just, oh, I'm done with it, right? It's, yeah, that's hopefully the goal. Like that is what happened. Like hopefully what the outcome is, but the reality is like, yeah, every day is a battle. Every day is a fight with you and your inner desires, right? You and your worldly desires, however you want to word this, right? But the thing is you're going to mess up. You're going to eat food that you don't want to eat. If you are struggling with something like porn addiction, you are going to have moments where you cave in.
And you might even go in strong, and you are doing great avoiding, and then something else somewhere else, some stupid ad triggers you, or like you might have to fully get rid of apps like Instagram just because the amount of people out there showing their bodies off and stuff like that.
100%. And I was gonna say like that does bring up a good point that I'll get to, but it's well, let me just finish my thought of like you're gonna have moments of failing or messing up, but it's what you do from there that then is how that builds your character, builds your strength, right? And it's just giving yourself grace, like understanding that you are human, that you made a mistake, but that's what it is, right? It was a mistake and you can't dwell on it. You just got to bounce back and keep going. And that's something that I've been really pushing forward in my life, especially with like the car sales that I've been doing and everything. But the other thing that Johnathan was just saying that I wanted to touch on was the world is rooting against you. That's a sad reality, right? The world wants you to fail. The world wants you, just like I was saying, the at YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, they want you to be addicted to their platforms, right? So whether you're addicted to social media, whether you're addicted to pornography, whether you're addicted to drinking or smoking or whatever it is, the world wants you to continue to be addicted. The world naturally wants you to fail. So the more you can limit yourself away from that, the more you can isolate yourself away from that, the higher your chances of succeeding is. So you're right. If scrolling through Instagram looking at bikini models triggers you to do something worse, maybe get rid of Instagram. Or if going to hang out with your friends who all they do is drink and you've got a drinking problem, maybe hang out with your friends differently. You don't even have to cut them out. Just be like, hey, you want to go get coffee tomorrow morning? And like that's your relationship with your friend. You have to set yourself up for success, but also most importantly, give yourself grace. You're human too. You're gonna fail. I'm gonna fail, but it's how you perceive those failures that changes your outcome. So
Yeah, guys. I think on that, Ben wrapped it up great. I think that is it's crazy how we got there just talking about Roman and then just the slippery slope of just going down. And that's what I love about this podcast and not having a topic and just letting the conversation flow and just catch up with my brother. And super rad episode. And once again, we're here as a resource too. So if you have questions or struggling with something, you can always reach out to either of us via our socials. They're linked in the description. I do, depending on the time of the year, get a lot of messages. So if you don't hear back from me, email is probably the better route to go with. Um, but bro, you killed it. I'm proud of this episode, and I'm proud that we're trying to become the best versions of ourselves. And I feel like that's all you can do in life is try to be the best you. You don't want to. People use the analogy of you go to heaven and and God shows you this person, and He's like, "This is the person you could have been, but this is the person you were." It's like if you would have just made the right decisions, you could have been this person. It's like, dang, I definitely want to be the version that God like the top version that God wanted me to be. So
This is me flying on the edge of my seat right now, but I just wanted to say, like, my DMs are open on Instagram. If you're struggling with something and if you wanted a non-judgmental person to talk with you, I'm not here to judge. Like I said, like, everyone's human, right? I'm human, you're human. But if you are struggling with something, I would love to talk with you. I also will, like, depending on what you're asking for, I can either bring religion into the conversation or just keep it the way that it, like, go at
Ben's
your
rich,
pace.
guys.
And
Ask for money.
no, but like, if you just
No.
want to if you just want to talk or have somebody that you can vent to or whatever it is, I'm not here to judge. I don't, I think that everyone has, we're all human, right? So if you struggling with something, want to talk, I'm here for you. Just shoot me a DM. And but I think that it's crazy, yeah, not having a topic, how we get to these points, but I think it's great. And I think that we do have to start wrapping up the podcast, though. So thank you guys so much. If you guys made it this far, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the conversation down below. Thank you guys for supporting us on this journey. Do you have anything else to say, bro?
No, guys. Appreciate you. Let's keep this podcast rolling, and I think sometimes it's good to just get the stuff out of our heads too. Talk about it. It's motivating.
Yeah,
I'm about
I
to
feel great.
hang up on this thing, jump on my bike, and start pedaling for 10 miles and reading a book and not doom scrolling today. That's the goal.
Proud of you, bro. All right, we'll see you guys next week with another episode. Peace.
Peace.